Hit record, and looks like it's recording. So welcome everybody. My name is Anthony, and me and my team are sitting in for John today, who's out doing some wonderful things, but he's kindly allowed me to come in as substitute. And today I wanted to share with you guys some things we've been doing with Instagram. And one of the things about that, one of the things I kind of want to share with you guys is in this group, in this community, one of the beautiful things we have is when we have something we heard of or we want to learn or know more about, we can toss it to John. He'll do some research and do that. And that's kind of the same way I kind of proceed and follow, where I've had some, my clients come and ask me questions, and that helps me evolve because I go learn what they're doing, what they want me to know and see. And then that lets me grow and become, offer better services and be a better a service provider. So with that being said, and a little while ago, someone came to me and said, what do I know about Instagram? How can I make it work and stuff like that? So I didn't have any knowledge, but I'm like the least social person I know. However, I did some research, we did some things, we did some testing, and now I just want to share with you guys a little bit about why you possibly should be using Instagram as another traffic source. And so I got a very brief presentation, and then I'm kind of going to show you exactly how we utilize it a little bit for our clients we got an Instagram booster service that we offer. I'll show you a little bit what we do inside of that for folks, and then, just kind of answer questions you may have. But what I also want to say too is I'm a disciple of ACT. So in the analysis part, for sure, if your ideal avatar is on Instagram or using Instagram, then this is going to be a one-on-one for you to help you with that and how to how to reach and access them. If not, there's also the other side when we get to do scaling for clients. When we're really kicking butt on one platform, we're traffic drivers. We drive primarily a lot of times on Facebook. So when we get that kicking butt for people, then the next step is scaling. Where do we go? Next platform. So this is also another platform you guys might want to take a look at and start using because of some of the information I'm about to share with you. So with that being said, I'm going to go to a screen share and bring that. And you guys can hear me, right, Paul? Okay. Gregory, you hear me pretty good?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to screen share to you guys here and put my screen up. And let's see if I got a lot of stuff on my screen here. So guys, I got a 4K screen and my stuff is normally pretty small. So let me know if you guys can kind of see that. Okay, good, good. Hey, Trav.
You're good.
Hey, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, and again, this is not really a big fancy, overly done presentation, try to do a whole bunch of stuff. It's just kind of give you guys some highlights of stuff I found with this. So basically, a traffic source you should be using. And we're talking about Instagram. And what I've discovered is Instagram is the world's fastest growing social network. There's at this point in time, over 1 billion Instagram monthly users, and over 500,000 are using it daily. It is the most important American social network for those under 25. And there's about 95 million daily posts done on Instagram. So like I said before, this should, if your avatar is there or you're considering where to scale up and find the next level of engagement, this is maybe a platform for you to look at it, take a look at. Come on. All right. Also, there's another part of Instagram called Instagram Stories. And Instagram Stories, I'm gonna give some definition in a little bit, but Instagram Stories is a place where the sales are made on Instagram. So what happens in Instagram Stories, 20% of story viewers swipe up to a call to action link and engage with the website. 300,000 users interact with Instagram Stories out of the total 500K daily users. So Instagram Stories is just hugely powerful. And the users use the stories to sell. It gives you, Instagram is a single picture for the most part, but stories let you combine video and pictures so you can create a story And the really big hitters are actually creating almost like a soap opera, like a story to story to story type of thing, and moving you down the path. So again, I want you guys to start putting some of these as ideas. How can I use this in my business, in my market? When people and Instagram stories allows you to put call to action links in there. And here's where people are sending people to. 59% are going to a shopping page. 23% are taking them to another social platform. 10% are taken to a blog post. 5% take them to a campaign page, like a desktop landing page, and 3% go to a mobile landing page. Come on, okay. So there's two pieces of Instagram. The first was a hashtag. And again, I know this is very basic, but when I first got into this, I had no idea what Instagram and how it works. So I'm just going to give you guys the one-on-one. Those of you guys are using it effectively, please chime in and add some value to the conversation if you feel. The hashtag, so when you tag a photo with a hashtag, it's basically identifying it and lets Instagram put it in a searchable category for you. And as we talk later about the power of the hashtag and how it's really one of the major things about this, you'll really appreciate that. But that searchable category, that's how people are finding content, finding things they're looking for. And so you really want to nail down and really hammer on the hashtag and get that part of the process right. And then the Instagram story I kind of mentioned, it lets you post photos and videos that are ephemeral. They basically vanish in 24 hours. So what it lets you do is it lets you get out there and put some stuff on and out there that even if it's not perfect, it'll go away in a short time and you don't have to kind of worry about it. So a lot of people are actually, of course, my phone is ringing here. Excuse me, I'm trying to cut people off. Allows people to actually put some stuff out there that isn't quite perfect, but it's out there, you're on the internet, and then you can kind of build up from it. So you can create and get a conversation going from people out of that. So one of the most important thing, your engagement is critical. And I'm going to show you some of the things we're doing for clients in our engagement booster service that get you more followers and higher engagement score. Basically, Instagram has an engagement score they give you based on how people are reacting to what you put out there. The higher that is, the more they show it to people. Same thing like what they do on Facebook. I mean, these are social platforms by all means, guys. So the more social you get them, the more social they are, the more these platforms want to push your content and push your information. And if you don't get that, I mean, think of the Jenner family and those guys. They get on social media, and the little girl became a billionaire by basically taking an Alibaba product, promoting it on Instagram, and just raising the price, and now it's selling for like 4 or 5 times what it normally does from. So what I'm going to show you is how to use the hashtags, and then how to use even the location hashtags to engage with followers. And how to also take your competitors' followers and bring them to your page. And then a way you can add multiple links to your one clickable link, because normally on Instagram, they only allow you one clickable link in the bio section at the very top. And again, I'm going to show you guys all this. So if you're not familiar with it, I will show you kind of where that's at. Let's see here. So what we're going to talk about is we're going to show how to like content using a specific hashtag, follow users using specific hashtags, follow users from specific pages, brands, and competitors. And what we want to target is the newest and most engaged. Follow users who like photos from specific brands, photos, and competitors. Follow users based on geographical location. Follow content in your news feeds. This is a big one. This is one people seem to miss, because a lot of times people want to go out and get new followers, get a lot of followers and stuff, and that's fine. But you already got people following your news feed. And so if you neglect them, you're kind of missing out on some easy opportunities that are already in your face. So again, we're going to show you that how you need to go inside your news feed and also like those. And then a piece people seem to be missing also is you can send direct messages to people. And this is powerful. This is powerful because these are kind of warm leads. You know, the idea being you put a post up, let's say you show one of your products and someone likes your product. That means they're interested. They've shown some interest. Taking on Instagram, where you can't do that on some of the other platforms the same way. And here's what I can tell you from what I've been doing for sure. If you go out and like others, 100% you will get likes back. There is no doubt guaranteed you will get, if you go out and like other people, they call it the follow unfollow syndrome. If you go out and follow people and like people, 100% you will get some of those back. It's just how human nature and how people are working in this day and age. So, and what happens is when you like or follow somebody, they get two notifications. So when you like somebody, they get a notification that you like them. When you follow them, they also get that notification. So if you like and follow somebody, they get two notifications on a small screen. That's a lot of real estate that notifications take up on there. That's what really causes people to click on that. I get calls from clients who are doing this process and they're like, should I follow or like all these people that are liking me? I'm like, that's up to you. If you feel they're relevant to what you're doing, feel they match your niche, and you want to have the conversation with them, follow them, like them, share with them. So that's the kind of behavior it creates when you follow and like people like that. So when we start out with a campaign, we got a couple of goals we start off with people. The first goal we want you to hit is we want you to get to 1,000 followers. And what we see happening is as your followers go up, your impressions go up. The number of people that actually see your posts goes up proportionally to that. So when you get 100K followers, what we've been seeing on average is anywhere from about 500 to 600 impressions per post you make every day on that. Then the next level we want to obtain and shoot for is 10,000 followers. And when you get 10,000 followers on a business account, that's where Instagram calls you an influencer, and they're going to give you the ability to put call to action buttons on your stories. It's called a swipe up type of thing. And then another area that we've been finding out people have been doing well is monetizing by giving shout outs. So when you get up to about 1,500 followers and stuff, and people are liking your page, you can reach out to them and say, how would you like me to give a shout out to your product on my page? So again, if it's niche relevant, market relevant to what you have, you can take some content from someone and say, hey, I'll tell everybody about your product for this, and you can charge them a small whatever you want to for that. So some folks are monetizing their their large following by doing that process also. So here's our basic daily practices. We like to target 100 pieces of content daily. And so what I mean by that is in each account, we're going to go out there, we're going to try to like, follow, and make a comment on 100 type pieces of content in our niche, in our relevant space, and different balances. So we won't just like 100 pieces and then follow 100 people. We might like 25, follow 30, some kind of proportion, but we try to do 100 pieces a day. Here's one of our secret sauces. Instagram lets you use a maximum of 30 hashtags. We try to use all 30 every single day. This is a real big one that people are unaware about. We see people with 5 or 6 hashtags. So here's the power, and I'm going to kind of illustrate it a little bit later more about it. But when you put the 30 hashtags on there, and you start getting some hashtags some different unique hashtags, and I'll show you how we find some different ones. What happens is your post shows up for that hashtag. So if someone is, let's say again, you got dogs, you're in the dog marketing dog space. So you may do Insta dogs of Instagram, your breed of dog, different types of things like that. All those different hashtags, when you post, your post is going to appear in those hashtags. So people that are following Insta dogs or dogs of a certain breed, that kind of stuff, they're going to see your post. And so you're going to get more exposure simply by using more tags. And then what you need to learn how to do is find the right tags to put on there so that you get the maximum. One of the things we do and we kind of talk about is we actually will find influencers in our market. And I will do some research and I'll find out what tags are they using. And when I find out what tags they're using, of course, I'm going to bring them back to my clients and what tags we're using. So I build a big list of all these tags I use, and then I kind of, randomize them and put them in there. But I take the tags of the big influencers and the big leaders in my market space, and that's what I actually use on that. So that's a little bit about the hashtags. Another tactic we do is we'll post somebody's content, post somebody's post, and we'll credit them for it. We'll give them credit for that particular post. And then we direct message them and say, hey, I've used your post over here. Take a look at it and let me know what you think. What seems to happen is, again, they come over, they look at it. As long as you've done it in a nice fashion, they're more likely to repost it because they're just as proud of their stuff. And they basically, we've seen a couple that say, hey, look at this guy, he's posting my stuff again, and that kind of stuff. So now it brings you over to them, and they're now reposting it and pushing it to their crowd of people. So it allows you to get content that you don't have to create necessarily yourself. All you do is give somebody credit for it, and a lot of times they'll take it and share it for them for you. People follow hashtags. So again, I was kind of mentioning the 30 hashtags. So if you use all the popular hashtags in your industry, and when you post, your post appears in a hashtag, and since people are following that, they're going to see you. That's more exposure. It's kind of free exposure. Again, you will increase, you'll see, when we went from doing 5 or 10 hashtags to doing 30, we saw like a doubling of engagement immediately, doubling of the likes and stuff, because we were reaching more groups, more people in different areas than we've ever been able to reach before. So that was that part of that. Using hashtags in your stories. Again, the story lets you do something called stickers, and the stickers let you put in different things, hashtags, locations, stuff like that. If John lets me, one day I'll get on and do a whole thing about stories, because that's a whole nother animal out there. But again, the ability to use hashtags in your stories is huge. The first hour after you post is prime time. So there's something called insights, and we're going to look at that also. And you want to learn when you're getting the best results with your posting, because that first hour, Instagram is kind of watching things. And if you get a lot of activity and engagement in that first hour, they really run with that for you. If you don't, you know, you kind of missing a good opportunity for you in that. So that first hour, pay quite a bit of attention to your insights, what's the best time for you, and get it up there. So I guess I had to get a drink real quick. And then the last practice we do is we like to inbox the warm leads. So again, when people engage with you, when people ask questions and stuff like that, direct message them and talk to them. Create that conversation. Hey, what'd you like about our product? Would you like to know more? How can I help you? Any kind of, you know, to create a conversation. This is someone who is by definition stepped up and said they like something you're doing, something you're offering. Take the time and acknowledge and ask them a question. So with that being said, I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to bring on my phone and show you guys some stuff here. Before I go too far, can you guys still see this? Okay, good, good.
Yes.
And I have not had a chance to check chat or anything. So anybody got any questions on anything so far?
Hey, Anthony, I got a question. It's Trav.
Hey, Trav.
What's up, man?
Doing good, doing good.
Good, good. Figured I'd throw the question out there for the group instead of asking you privately, because maybe everybody can benefit. So one of the things that John used to have us doing back in the day, at least on YouTube videos, was kind of play, you know, a 30-second trailer on our videos. So at the end of a video, you know, you don't end up with 45 suggested videos after your video plays, which could therefore distract people and get them to go something else instead of our landing page or wherever we want them to go. When you mentioned the engagement metrics for both Facebook and Instagram, would putting a trailer on the end of the video affect that engagement negatively? Does that matter when it comes to actual ads? I mean, I'm sure it would matter for a post per se, as far as like how much people are watching it. But, you know, if it's an ad, do they really care, you know, if you put a long trailer on the end of it? Should we avoid long trailers? Can we kind of control the end screen, so to speak?
I remember that. I still do that on my video. But yeah, in this case, you don't have to do that. In this case, on especially on Instagram, they're really into a brevity type of scenario. So the end trailer, not as important as it used to be in terms of the long time. I still like to put an end card with my call to action on it. And you know, the different places where you connect to me. Find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, find me on here, that type of thing. But yeah, it doesn't need to be the long trailer to keep the from automatically showing the next piece for it on you.
Okay, so that would actually negatively affect our engagement, theoretically, as far as percentage of video watched, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Got it. Got it. Now, if you had an ad that was previously done that had a long trailer, you can't go back and edit that and maintain the same social commentary and whatnot, right?
Correct. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
won't
that
let you
makes
do that. You can
Okay.
change all the text and content around that part of it, but the actual video file itself, yeah, they won't let you do that.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
All right. A couple of questions. The blue dot Instagram authorization, getting authorized. That basically, they kind of reserve verification and that for celebrity types. So you can request it, but it really doesn't seem like they, unless you're Timberlake or any of them type of folks like that, they're not giving verification out there. What that kind of means, what you're trying to do is say that you're a real person, it's a real account, and your real value. They're just not giving it to you unless you're a higher ranked celebrity. So, unfortunately, that. And then Paul's talking about setting up a business page. Paul, what I can do is I can set up a training video and I'll walk everybody through. So I'll create a training video for everybody that goes through setting up the business page on that. That way, because you get to get a few different benefits than you get from the personal side. And again, if you're going to do this for business, you might as well do that. So let us create a training video for you guys on that. And then we can everybody can actually sit down and I'll upload that to the group. So what I was doing is I was trying, let me get my phone back up, and I was showing you guys.
Where are you putting this, Anthony, this training video?
I'm gonna give it to John, so he'll put it inside the memberships.
Okay. Can we ask you a Facebook question?
You sure can. I'm here for whatever questions you want to throw at me.
Paul and I are working on creating a new clinic for stem cell therapy.
Okay.
And we want to put out an ad on Facebook. We were wondering if you could look it over and tell us what you think and just advise us how to make it very successful.
I can do that. Is this Paul Mata?
Yes.
Hi, Paul. It's been a long time since I've chatted with you. Okay. Yeah, let's see what you guys got.
Go ahead, Paul.
You want me to, you want to share screen? I'll stop mine. Or you can send it to me if you want.
Are you unmuted, Paul? I can't hear you.
Well, Paul's looking at Mariette. You said you had an FB question you wanted to throw at us?
Yeah, I wanted to, well, I asked him to bring the ad up on his screen so that he could share it with you. I don't know, I can't hear him, so I don't know if I'm communicating with him or not, or if he can hear me. It looks like he's trying to do something.
Okay. Paul's gonna email it to me.
Can you unmute him? Because I can't hear him.
He's unmuted.
Well, when he's talking, he's not being heard. He's talking right now.
Yeah, he's unmuted.
I can't hear him either.
And when we tested before, he was the first one on. I heard him. I'm gonna have him email it to me.
Okay.
That way, so I told him to email it to me. So Marinette's asking about inviting more people to her business page than my own Facebook business, her own friends group.
Is this weekend look good?
Oh, hang on.
What? Oh, that's it. That's Saturday?
So Marinette, what we normally do to get additional Facebook likes for people is we do a like campaign. And so what you'll do is you'll post some content on Facebook that is generally something positive. We like to use a motivational message. So we'll create a motivational message like 3 to 5 words with a nice bright background. And then what we do is we do a like campaign, and we'll put that out there, and we'll ask people, you know, like if you agree, share if you agree with this. So we do a like campaign like that. That campaign we usually spend about $10 on, and done correctly, it should generate you about, you should probably see about 1,000 or so new likes and new followers that come to your page from there. It's kind of one of our first steps when we create a Facebook campaign for people, because it builds up some social proof. And what happens is people, when you run some ads, or when people are going to your Facebook page, if they see 100 or 200 followers, it kind of like, how important can you be? How knowledgeable are you? If you have no fans, you have nobody following you. So that's our first step. We run that campaign, like I say, we run it probably about 3 or 4 days, get a couple of thousand people on there. And then from there, what happens is it'll naturally start taking over. You'll naturally start getting people. Now, in the meantime, you're still going to want to post good quality content on there, and make sure your content is not just salesy. You're not wanting to sell people. You're wanting to talk to people, have a conversation. So ask questions also to get the engagement. Like, here's a picture of something I'm doing. What do you guys think of this? Or I'm thinking about offering a free gift. Here's my options. Please tell me which ones you agree with. Some kind of engaging type of question, some type of engaging type of content, so that people respond and they build that engagement up. Because again, that's also going to build up your ability for people to see it further down the line. As your engagement scores goes up, Facebook either charges you less if you're going to use the paid side of things, or if you're using just the organic side of things, they're going to show it to more people. Now, the other thing too to be aware of is what you need to do is tell your friends and stuff to engage with your posts. Facebook, the algorithm, they changed it now to where if someone doesn't engage with you every so often, it's going to drop you down in their respect. So if I'm following you, but you keep posting and I don't say anything after so many times, Facebook's going to say, okay, whatever she's been giving you has not piqued your interest, so they're going to stop showing it to me. Even though we're friends, and even though I may know you, they're not going to show it as much. So you kind of want to share with your friends, every song, and you'll see it in people's posts. People be writing like, I just want to see if you're following me. I want to see if you're my friends. All that's designed to do is to get you to get engaged with them, and it puts them back in at the high point in your post, in your feed. So that's kind of the purpose of what they're doing with that. And she also asked about sharing her business Instagram posts on her Facebook business page, or do additional. I actually like to share, first of all, share them across the platforms, but then because I know the audience is different on the different platforms, I intersperse specific ones on there. Like Instagram, again, in my research, is primarily a younger demographic, younger people's audience. So I'll share over a post I make on Facebook, but then on Instagram, I'll put something specifically for the younger demographic people over there. So I'm speaking to them directly. So I kind of do both, but I acknowledge the difference between the different platforms and the different type of people that are on the platforms. And again, for us, a lot of that comes from what we talk about and what we learn inside of our ACT analysis. When we figure out what's going on with the individuals and where they're at, where they're consuming content, that's kind of what we put our emphasis on and what we stress for that. Now, there's any other questions? I'm trying to get my Instagram share back up to show you guys Instagram, but I got a program that I use, and let me see if it's keeping up here. This could, so. All right, this is technology for you. Paul, I got that. I'll look that up in a second. I'm gonna see if I can get this technology to agree with me. Let's see. Guys, I apologize. This technology is not working like it's supposed to, so I'm gonna, okay. It is doing it. Sharona, you want to jump in and say some things on Instagram? Some things you saw, you noticed? Unmute.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get to the quiet. Okay, so as far as what I have noticed, okay, you definitely grow a lot quicker the more you engage. Absolutely. I think you really touched on all the things where Instagram definitely helps business out and whatnot. The insights are huge. Once you hit 1,000 followers, it kind of starts working for itself, which is magic. I'm really here to answer any questions.
Can't get my phone to connect with this. Go on it.
I'm here to answer questions and make you money via followers.
All right, guys, I'm gonna share my screen one more time. Kind of see here. Okay, it was working a minute ago. Now I decided it's not working. That really sucks. Okay. Let me go see if I can pull up Paul's flyer real quick and we can talk. Why is it?
No.
That's not what I'm trying to show, though, guys. I was trying to take you guys to insights, and it is not doing what it's supposed to do. That is just very weird. All right, guys, it is not cooperating with me, this program here. It seems like it's behind me.
Are you looking for the insights, Anthony?
Yeah, I was trying to show them the insights, and it's not. I mean, I know where it's at, but it's not. I wanted to show people on the screen. Basically, guys, on Instagram, in the bottom right-hand corner, there is your profile. When you click on that, it brings up another screen that shows you your profile. And at the top right, you would hit the there it goes. So now it's catching up to me. This is what I was doing. So I hit the thing in the top right, I hit insights, and it was showing you the insights. And I was trying to get to showing you guys this. So basically, this is an account we created a couple of weeks ago, and we were testing from 0 to see how we could grow it and how fast and what kind of stuff we can make grow on it. And so that's kind of it's showing us, and I apologize, it's going up and down because that was me trying to see if it was working, and it wasn't. But what the insights will show you is you can measure interactions, you can measure the content, you actually can even measure the audience. You can see what audience you're getting that's engaging with you. So it gives you, again, a lot of ability that once you run a few things and get some stuff going on, we know in this particular account, it's actually targeting and showing based on the audience value, it's showing people in the 25 to 34 range. And we got actually about a 50-50 gender split on this. And all this is, again, we're targeting.
I think I'm going to add in real quick. The best part is if you're local, it's really easy to monopolize on the local businesses, as he's showing you here. It tells you everything from each city to countries. So if you want to be worldwide and target a certain country or everything, it tells you if you're on the right track. So again, like if it's a local business, and then right here it's all San Diego. So that being said, they're driving traffic to their Instagram that's all local. So that's, that much more of a chance of actually gaining a client as opposed to.
Sharona, I can show some stuff on the desktop version too, can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
let me go to desktop because this is irking me to no end. So pull up back. Here we go. All right. So this is an Instagram account, that same account actually. And some of the kind of things I wanted to show you guys was how we do some of our targeting. So how we figure out who we're trying to get their hashtags to. So let's say again, we're targeting somebody, and Paul, I got your flyer. I'm gonna talk about that in a quick second here, but I do want to show you guys where we're going. So we can put in hashtag, and let's say we're talking CBD oil, since that seems to be very popular. You guys can see that these hashtags right here, CBD oils, has 92,000 posts on it. So what happens is people will follow this hashtag. So if you use this hashtag in your post, anytime you post and put this in there, you're going to show up in the feed like these guys are. And then we'll look for one like this guy where it's got a bunch of likes. Maybe not, we want a little more comments, but we would look at it and we would basically see what hashtags and what they're using. These are the hashtags they're using right in here. So I would start compiling my list of hashtags that I want to use, and I would start building from that. So if I'm in the CBD oil space, this guy got a lot of likes using these hashtags. So there's got to be a reason for that. So I'm going to pull and use them in mine. I'm going to keep going down. This guy, again, got a bunch on this one. And I'd also look at the content of the picture and also the content of what they said. But basically, I'm looking at these hashtags right here, and I'm building up a list. And like I say, when you use 30 of them each and every time, you see explosive growth. Now, the other thing too to learn is you don't want to keep using the same ones. You want to kind of rotate them in and out. So you don't want to use the same hashtags there to do that. Now,
No copy and pasting, because that just shows Instagram that you're probably not a real human, even though you are. So no copy and pasting. It's just a bad way to go. So make 2 or 3 different lists and then just rotate through those is probably what I would say.
Now, another one we do is we do location stuff. So like we're in Point Loma and we would do, Point Loma. And again, what you're looking at, these are people who are posted and they've geotagged their posts somewhere in Point Loma. So we'd find one with good action on it. And 2 things we would actually do. We look at, again, this person, and we look to probably follow this person, because if we're in a local market and I'm trying to get local people in my market, I know she's in Point Loma because she just posted she's in Sunset Cliffs, Point Loma, or down the street from me, as a matter of fact. So I might follow her to get her to follow me back because she's in my market space. She's in my area. So that's the way we kind of use the location tags. You can also location tag businesses. So you can look up businesses, people that are fans of businesses in a certain location. We do that. And then another big one we do is the influencers. If you know influencers in your space, you go and find them. A common one everybody likes to follow is Gary V. Gary Vanderchuck. He's pretty popular in his space. But what you can do is you can find out the people that are following him. So if you were in the motivational space, self-improvement, entrepreneur, solopreneur, any of the various areas that Gary's in, you could actually go inside, follow the people that follow Gary V around, and again, get those type of people have indicated by their following him that they have a desire, like for the same type of things, and you can bring them over to you. Now, what you'd also want to do is you want to engage with the content these people do. So you want to find a post and you want to engage. Now, something we do that's a little different than I've seen from others, we don't necessarily try to engage with someone with Gary V's status with this many followers. He gets so much information, so much so likes and follows back that he's not going to notice us. So we try to find people with less followers, a lot less followers, and a lot less. And we engage with them because they're excited and they're motivated because, hey, someone liked me, someone followed me. So they're going to be real receptive to engaging and talking with you. So we go out, the people we try to get to follow us, we usually go after smaller numbers and then we'll engage with them in that case. But the people we want to find for hashtags, we want to find the bigger numbers. Does that make sense, guys? Hello, everybody there?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So now, real quick, Paul, you sent me a flyer. I'm gonna stop my screen share real quick here. Paul, you sent me a flyer. Flyer's not an ad. Flyer's not a landing page. So help me out where you want to go with this. Gay's asking for a website that will list influencers in a specific. I've not found that, Gay. What I've really done is for the clients, I've kind of asked them. I said, who in your marketplace is you know, an influencer? Because the clients generally know more than I do. Like CBD oils, I would know nobody. Golf, dogs, a lot of those categories. I have no clue who's a leading influencer. So I generally ask the clients. I know in the space you're in, Gay, I would think people like, gosh, I can't think of his name now. Everybody knows him. Doggone it. I want to say Gary Williams. Paul, I can't think of his name now. But even Jay Williams. And even, gosh, the other guy. Fagan, Jeff Fagan would be another one I would probably think. And a couple others. Okay. Okay, so Paul, if you're looking to put, and let me, Paul, do you mind if I share the flyer with everybody on the screen?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We're fine.
Okay, and Gay, I got your message. I'll get to that in a second too. So let me crack my email here and find Paul, what he sent me. It's downloading. It'll be a second here. Even though I'm on gigabit, I must be sucking up the bandwidth here. Come on. Okay, looks like it opened up. Let me see if I can get, trying to figure out how to get it all on. Oh, there it is. All right, let me screen share for you guys. It might be a little tiny, so let me know if you guys can't see it. Let me go a little, so I can make it a little bigger here. So here's the thing, guys, on this. And I see your question about boosting Facebook. So here's the thing on this, Paul. First thing I would kind of say to this, and there's a couple of things you can do. One, you can post something on Facebook and see what engagement you get, what reactions you get. There's insights on Facebook too, and when we look at that, a lot of times we'll do a test post and we'll see, okay, people are reacting to that. Now let's make it an ad. Or people didn't react to that, so they must not have liked how it was something there. Let's keep restructuring to figure out what's going to work best. So sometimes we'll test post something on Facebook, see what kind of reaction we get from folks, and then based on the reaction, we turn it into an ad. So on this one, again, if I'm following the ACT formula, though, the ACT thing, I would kind of say, you know, I would start off with your pain points. You know, damaged and regenerated, you know, damaged tissue, and I know, Paul, we had a phone conversation a long time ago, so I kind of know what you guys are doing and stuff. I would speak to that first. I would kind of say, you know, you want to find people's pain points. What keeps them up at night? What bothers them? And then stick your thumb on it and push hard so that they're motivated to take action. You want to say, you know, are you suffering from, you know, shoulder injury? My story, suffering from a lifelong football shoulder injury. You can't raise your left arm higher than your head anymore. Your body cracks and makes more noise every time you walk. How would you like to get that fixed? How would you like to get that taken care of? How would you like to reduce or eliminate that pain? Stop having, you know, your body make all these noises and people look at you and wonder if you're falling apart or you're rickety type of stuff. So again, I think you start off with, you know, going out, because we want solutions. We want solutions. And so if you illustrate my pain, you speak to me and you tell me my pains, then I'm going to for sure listen to you. I got bad shoulders. My back hurts all the time. I sit on a medicine ball because I can't sit on a flat chair. If you know that about your avatar, you can address those pieces. You can get my attention all day, every day, speaking to those things and how to fix those. And she won't, hopefully she doesn't see this, but the wife is going through the flashes, okay? So if you got something that can work on the flashes, boom, I'm buying too. Because I'm tired of hearing their voice about the flashes type of thing. So hit them with the pain type of thing first. And that's how you're going to get people to come to these events and deal with this stuff is, you know, I understand your pain. I have an answer. If you want to know the answer, come see me over here. Come spend some time with me over here. And you got to kind of in the second part here, learn how 15-minute outpatient procedure. So you kind of got a little bit of there, but I would speak to the pain more a little bit, you know, come get into the pain. I see people more for, you know, like to avoid pain than not. And the part about boosting your Facebook posts effectively, that Facebook boost is just, they've gotten better, but the reality of that is it's just not very effective for getting in front of the right people because they don't let you do the deep targeting you can do on the ad side of the platform. So I have a hard time doing the Facebook boost and getting great results. Again, if I'm going to do a boost, I will put in no more than $20 and I will try to target as best I can. And again, I would offer some type of lead magnet or something to bring people, you know, off the platform to my mailing list or to a landing page, something along those lines. So I would make it, you know, valuable along those lines. But that boost function has just not been very effective in getting quality people to it. It's a shotgun effect, so you can shotgun to a lot of people. And I will tell you this: if you got a good following, it starts with your first local, then it goes out, expands out next to your next level of followers, and then to their followers and to their followers. So it can grow and expand. But again, if you got a small group of followers, it doesn't expand very fast or very quickly because there's just not enough people on that. So
Anthony, you're saying do an ad versus a boost. Can you explain that?
if I'm going to do something, I would do the ad versus the boost. And again, the key is the ad gives you guys the targeting. The ad gives you the ability to figure out who you want to send this to. The ad gives you the ability to define that. The boost just says send this to a bunch of people. And, you know, that's okay. They could be the right people or not people. Now, so let me also give you the good and bad of that concept. If you target people and you tell Facebook you want to target, the costs are a little higher in the beginning because you're going after special people. So it's cheaper. That's why when they say you can boost and you can see X amount of people for a couple of dollars, it's inexpensive that way because they're throwing it out at everybody. You got the kids looking at, you got older groups, younger people, different demographics. All these people are looking at, and they may not be the right person for you, but it's cheaper cost. When you target, Facebook knows you're targeting, and they charge you a little more for it, but you're also talking to the right people. You're not talking to a 13-year-old on Facebook. You're not talking to a 15-year-old on Facebook, that type of thing. So there's the trade-off for that. Now, here's the other thing that happens. If you have other parts of your system in place and working, such as retargeting and the ability to do that in the back end of funnel, the shotgun approach isn't the worst thing because what happens is you do hit a lot of people. The ones that are interested will click on and go and potentially go to your site or go to your landing page. You got your pixel on there. You feed the data to Facebook. You get enough data inside of Facebook. They're going to know who to target and come back after. So a lot of times we'll do a cold traffic to a wide audience, and then we'll come back and we'll take the people that have stepped forward by clicking, going to where we wanted to do. The warm audience will retarget them. And you can also, again, you can speak specifically to them. Hey, I know you landed on my page. What interests you in it? Did you want, was it a pricing issue? Was it some other type of issue? Here's a $10 coupon to try out what we have, or click here to learn more type of thing like that. So those people that have shown, again, interest, you can come at them with a slightly different message. And again, they've raised their hand, so now you can speak to them a little deeper in your language. Let me see here. Paul was talking about the best way to target the audience. Targeting audience comes from your avatar, guys. I mean, that really, it doesn't get any better, easier than that. Like I said, we can shotgun. You can throw that out a lot of people. Let them filter by clicks. That's not our favorite way, but we have done that and do that in occasions. But we like to really start off in target speech. The example is I'm working with some realtors, and these realtors, they are he wants to work with VA people. And VA people are usually military, retired military. So we're crafting his audience, we're crafting the imagery, we're crafting all that to reflect some military influence in there. So these aren't just people trying to buy a house. These are military people. So that, you know, you got the stars and stripes and uniforms and stuff like that. So these people, when they see the ad, they see the landing page, they see the other pieces of content, it all looks and matches and speaks a little bit of military. That's what they know. That's who they are. That's why they got a VA or the ability to get a VA loan. So we're speaking directly to them. They feel that they acknowledge that we get better rapport with them. We get better contact. Now, because we're telling Facebook we're looking for VA veterans and that type of stuff, they charge a little premium. But again, it's the right people we're looking for, so we're not wasting anything. Gay, she said she's in the home candle decor. That's interesting, Gay. That's you know what? I'm gonna put Sharona. Put some. Gay is in the home candle decor. See what you can do to find some influences for Gay. We're gonna do some research for you, and we'll see if we can come up with some folks in there. And I'm gonna send you some hashtags. As a matter of fact, everybody on the call.
I will absolutely send her, just to confirm, I will send her everything. I'll just have to get her email address.
You're breaking up, Sharona, so I'm just going to agree that you're going to do that for us. And something for everybody in the group. If you guys are considering Instagram, send me at least one or two of your keywords or what you want to target. I will go out and pull a list of some hashtags for you to be using and consider using. We can do that for you and just give you some hashtags to go out there and check, and I'll do some influencers. So and actually that, yeah, for everybody, we don't mind doing that for everybody. So anybody and everybody do that.
How do we connect with you?
Send it to, I'm gonna send you guys my email here in the chat.
I will go ahead and send my email over in the chat too if any of you guys have questions or if I can help you in any way, shape,
Yeah, that's your Instagram handle? Okay, got it. What other questions anybody might have? Hey, Paul, looking at this flyer, where I would probably create an event, a Facebook event for it. That'd probably be one of the things I would do for it. Do you got a site or a blog or something you're using? I would put that on there as content on the site or a blog also. And you can promote an event. We have promoted events, so you can run some traffic at an event, and you could target probably people, again, your avatar. So create the event, set up a campaign, target people that are your avatar, and kind of see. Now, keep in mind, again, getting people to an event sometimes is one of the most difficult campaigns you can kind of create, because you're asking people to come out of their comfort zone, travel to a destination, spend some time, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, so it's generally a little more, we generally like to lead up to an event. So we might do a couple of webinars going towards that event to get people, to give them really a solid reason. If I know what you're doing, Paul, so I got an idea, but if I didn't know what you were doing, for me to just come to an event, you know, and I'm in San Diego and I know you guys are up north, even what you're doing, which is really good, and I have people that I feel need what you're doing, it'd be a tough hustle. But if you did a couple of events, a couple of webinars, and you showed, you know, did some testimonials and did some different things and broke down some different pieces, kind of like the conversation we had where you can tell me where it's good for, then say, you know, really, you know, now you've seen me on the webinar, you know a little more about, come to the event live hands-on where you'll get some in-depth focusing. My group will look at you, you know, you give them some more, but I would do 1 or 2 webinars leading to the event. You're going to find that you're going to get a little better. We find we're getting a little better results because people actually have the ability to taste you, see what's going on type of thing. And then you basically pitch the event on the webinar. and you get better. We seem to get better results doing that. And Gay, I wanted to say, so with the candles, is this a retail type of thing you're doing, or are you trying to sell it online mostly? Okay. Okay. Because what I would like to do, Gay, is is I'm looking for a someone who's got a retail product that we can do a beta test on Instagram and do some pushes. So if you're up for it, we'll reach out, put some of these products on there, and see how we can make it happen with the retail side. We've been doing it for other businesses, but I don't have anything in the retail area, so that would be pretty fun to do and see. So we'll reach out to you on that. Thomas seems to be on. Anybody got any additional? Thomas, why don't you share some of the things that you heard about in Facebook F8 that happened this week?
So they're making a bunch of changes. Overall, they're trying to make everything more community-based, to where they actually are going to have a section that's a friends tab, and it excludes ads, everything all together. It's literally just your feed. So it's going to be a mix-up. They changed the algorithm a little bit on how it actually identifies valuable content, and how that sits within the feed. They added a bunch of new features that'll be interesting. A lot of them I don't see too necessary to share. A lot of them are different ways. They're kind of reaching out, more or less. They have like Facebook dating now. They're going to take over probably Tinder. They have a ton of augmented reality to where they're now. It's really interesting. You're able to tag products within pictures and allow for people to essentially try on those products, which is really weird. So if you were selling a product such as sunglasses, you could set up a specific ad that allows for it to be an augmented reality picture, to where they could pull the picture out of the ad into their camera, aim their camera at themselves, and see what that actual product will look like on them. There's a whole bunch of new stuff that they're going about through. I think the biggest change to kind of be aware is they're making stuff even more gauged towards engagement, to where if you're not getting posts that are like, you're literally not getting seen. They cross-platformed Instagram and Facebook. You could cross-platform message. So you could DM someone on Instagram from Facebook. They're combining that and kind of WhatsApp and putting all three of them kind of together slowly but surely over the next couple of years. I think that was the biggest changes that I'd say that they brought, or that they.
Go ahead, Sharona.
Oh, I was just saying Instagram's kind of going with the same thing. They're gonna, stop showing likes. They're changing a lot of things there too. So it's gonna in some senses make it a little easier to get, progressive finds. At the same time, you're gonna have to work a little harder.
Now,
a lot of the changes they're making to Facebook.
I also know that Facebook is they're, Thomas, and correct me, aren't they changing the layout too?
Oh yeah, they actually rolled it out already. So some of you guys probably have already seen it, but it's no longer even blue. It's like a white page. It's completely different. They made Messenger for desktop and changed their logo. They changed their look of it altogether. And they're also saying now that any type of data that's input through Messenger and stuff of that nature is end-to-end encrypted. So they're saying they can't even see it now. So they're focusing on their big things are making Facebook a more, and this is kind of how they explained it. They said Facebook's a town hall now, and anyone could go and meet new people and find people. But they said the future is to be people being able to establish private connections. So they're trying to make it more personalized and more, again, on kind of a get to know your friends like they originally started with before they opened it up and made it so that it was so open to everyone, if that makes sense.
And my interpretation of what I heard was, this is my interpretation. They're splintering off. They're splintering Messenger. They're splintering the groups off, so to speak. Facebook's got a bad taint right now at this particular moment, you know, the privacy and all that kind of stuff like that. So they're kind of splintering these pieces off and saying they're very private and very protected type of scenario to kind of, in my opinion, again, recreating the illusion of that privacy factor by doing that. Now, I do know, and Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong on this, aren't they also bringing ads into the Messenger side of things?
So they already have, so you could do ads, but they're bringing in the lead ads into Facebook Messenger to where it's kind of the pre-filled out forms that people can submit directly in Messenger, and it'll send you a message with their information that you don't have to download like you currently do if you're doing lead ads. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of wondering what it'll look like. They didn't roll it out quite yet. They said they're rolling it out starting America first, though. So we'll definitely be getting it first.
All right. So I'm going to see if we can figure a way to chat with John. I've been preaching the values of the Messenger bot for quite a while now, a couple of years now. And again, it's looking like they're liking that and going to, like I said, putting the lead ads and stuff in that. So I'm going to see if we can get with John and maybe create a training on Messenger bot, give you guys a little bit more background and data on that and how you may want to use that in your future plans also. So that'll be a conversation I have with John. Anybody got any information or knowledge on Messenger bot, please get with us. You know, we'd love to get the information to the rest of the group and have you guys be able to access and use that. So guys, I burned a whole hour. I know John likes to try to keep it to an hour. So if there's any more questions, I'm more than happy to stay on. If not, I want to respect you guys' time. And I like I said, I'll get back to, you know, I copied all the questions down from the chat room. I'll make sure we have a good answer for everybody on all those. Anybody that wants to send me their Instagram stuff, their username, I'll kind of, and maybe, you know, one or two influencers, I'll come up with some hashtags and send you guys some stuff like that. Just so you can kind of know if you want to start playing that in that area, that playground for traffic. Other than that, guys, I think we will call it a day.
Hey, Anthony, I actually have a quick question.
All right.
So on, I know that Optimized Press has a feature where if people share a link that doesn't have like the funnel key at the end of it, it's like a little short character, it'll redirect people to the landing page. So on, you know, if they copy the URL bar and then they share it, or if they hit a social media sharing icon on the screen, again, anybody who then clicks on that link, they don't actually see the piece of content. They get sent back to the landing page, and then they can opt in for the entire free course or whatever it is. Is that the general consensus these days with how launch funnels are supposed to be displayed? I mean, I'm at the point where I'm eliminating social sharing buttons entirely from my sales pages just so as to not distract people. But, you know, in the event that the thing is shared, are we trying to get people to the content, especially if there's an offer after it, or are we trying to get people back to the landing page?
Thomas, you want to grab that?
I was going to say, it really depends where, for instance, if it's the beginning of your funnel and the initial opt-in, then I'd want to get them back. If they didn't even opt in, getting them right back to the same landing page isn't going to do too much. So you normally do want to get another piece of content in front of them first. That would then go to the landing page, if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
But again, it really depends where in the funnel, because if they've already opted in but they didn't make the purchase, then again, you probably need to give them a different reason. Or it might have just been a bad time. So maybe just blanket retargeting will get that sale. Whereas again, at the beginning, if they didn't opt in for something free, then more than likely, if you don't give them a different reason, they're not going to, because it's free. When you're looking at the sales side, it could just be that it was a bad time. It could be that they need more content. So those would be things that you would have to test at that point in the funnel. Beginning of the funnel, you almost always have to send them back to content.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really so much for the people who have actually gotten there and filled out the landing page or didn't fill out the landing page. Let's say somebody sees my Facebook ad. Now they go to my landing page, they sign up. They love the first piece of content so much that they take the URL and they slap it on social media. The person who clicks on that URL, do we want to send them directly to that piece of content, or do we want to use some of these kind of more advanced funnel features that direct them back to a landing page? And you also know how my stuff is kind of structured too. So at the end of the day, I'm giving people.
I have insights.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I have a little insight, so it makes it a little easier. But in that specific case, more than likely, the people are sharing the content because that specific content. So you probably would want them to go there. But part of it, I'm trying
to deceive them into going to my landing page.
Yeah, which would be nice. But if you think about it, and one of your buddies shared a piece of content, you click on it, and that's not what you see. Are you to opt in, or are you going to say, no, I'm not opting in to see it because my buddy just shared it? That's why.
It depends on how badass the landing page is. This looks fantastic.
That is very true.
I'm kind of the mindset, guys, that I would come at them with a different angle. I always feel that if the person didn't take action right then and there, the desired action, I'm going to come at them with a slightly different angle. So that's my, Thomas and I kind of differ a little bit on that. But if someone shared your thing, I do think that, if I shared something, the people that know me and know where I'm going to share it, they're going to want to get to the bottom line, to the point. So they don't need to go back to the beginning and see stuff. They need, I'm sharing something because I think you need to buy it now. That's what I'm telling my friends. This is so good, you better buy it now. So they really just need to get to the buy page, as far as I'm concerned. So
I would recommend, though, that you may want to throw an opt-in form at the bottom of the content if you don't have one, saying, hey, I know some people get here and they're not a part of the course yet. Feel free to opt in for free, and now you could still kind of get two birds with one stone. You're making that funnel page kind of a landing page still, but for users that are already within your program as well. So
it would be great if you could display something like that based on the refer, or based on the link that they clicked.
You probably can, based on a cookie. Would be the easiest way, and the majority of the people, since again I know your system, will be cookied one way or another. All we would probably have to do is create an additional cookie where content displays. It'd be JavaScript, but to where the opt-in displays if they don't have the cookie, and if they do, it's just hidden.
Got it. Yeah, it just seems like there's got to be a way, like, when something goes viral, it's awesome, and to fail to capitalize on that is devastating. I mean, I remember when my first video went viral, and like my web page shut down, like my server couldn't handle it. So there's just so much traffic that we lost. So I'm just trying to structure this so however it's set up, we're taking the most advantage of it, whether it's going directly to sales or sending people to the landing page. So I think you're right, though, Anthony. When people are sharing something, maybe it's better to display the content that they actually shared, especially if it leads people to buy, and maybe do like an exit redirect or something, or an exit pop-up to get people to sign up. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I guess let's think about it. We'll all think about it. I'll get back to you guys.
And we'll keep looking. And for the group to kind of understand what Travis is talking about here, we're basically talking about a sales funnel where people have clicked, they've gotten on the page, they might have liked something, even made the first purchase, and then they felt so good about it, they wanted to share. So they posted maybe on their Facebook page or different other platforms. And what he's kind of trying to understand is how can he capitalize that? Because if I post something on my Facebook page of Travis's order page, is that the best way? Are people going to go to order page and know what they're getting? Or should we take them back to the beginning and say, okay, opt in, learn about the product and that kind of stuff. So we're trying to trying to determine what's the best choice for that. Just so you guys kind of aware, these are things that happen these are things you do when you start tweaking the funnel to get that next zero, go to that next level. This is what you're trying to do. So,
and you can get trapped by old metadata. So if, for example, 200 people have shared one page already, and now you're like, oh wow, this page has become very popular. Let me put a little social media image and a description. You can't go back and do that. So whatever dumbass title tag you did or didn't set back in the day, that's stuck there forever, regardless of if you use the Facebook debugger. So, you know, if you're planning on putting something out there and you think it might get some traction, you really got to have everything dialed in from the get-go, because they will stop you from changing it later.
And again, I would encourage everybody. I know everybody's in this group here has seen ACT, but that's, you know, go to your ACT book. You should have come up with some different, you know, keywords and things as part of that process. And so you'll want to utilize those and make sure. So yeah, that good information, Travis.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, they swear that debugger will update it, but I agree with you.
Nope. Liars.
I've tried it. Yeah, I've tried it.
Deception. Well, yeah, that's all I had. Thanks, guys. Great.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. Unless there's one more question. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to come in and substitute for John. I'm sure he'll be back next week and back on the flow for everything. But guys, appreciate your time today, and have a great weekend, everybody.
Anthony.
Yes.
Can you stay on this for a second? I just have a quick question.
Sure.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Anthony, you know, you mentioned that a flyer wasn't an ad. And I'm trying to understand what you meant by that.
Oh, well, what Greg Paul sent over was it's in, I guess I'm saying it's in flyer format. You know, it's kind of, first of all, it's too much. It's not, your ad format should come a little different than the flyer. The flyer is talking about, you know, I'm trying to think how to explain it here.
Can I call you back in a minute?
Let me see, because Tom, you're on there. Let me see if I can bring this up again. It didn't come up the first time I tried to click on it for some reason. It's more the formatting, Cheryl, is what I'm saying versus anything else. The formatting on it just is not a conducive.
What's the difference between the two?
And of course, I don't have an ad real quick that I can pull up. You know what? I do have an ad. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to go into an ad campaign, pull up an ad real quick so you can kind of see the difference in the format. Real fast here. So not necessarily saying the content is bad, although again, I go after pain points, but it's really a matter of the way you've got it structured. First of all, again, you couldn't use that many pictures in it because you only got one picture image realistically you're able to do in there.
In what, a format?
In the ad format, yeah.
Ad should have one picture, not many.
Unless you do like a carousel or something.
Carousel ad. So yeah, let me clarify that. But you know, the way he's got it done, I guess he's got 3 pictures at the top, some text, and then 3 pictures at the bottom. That's what I'm saying. That's not a format that's going to fly on an ad. Let me find somebody. Thomas, anything? What do we do for Jason? Did we have Thomas?
This was a video ad. It was relatively
Okay. Patrick. Then we got one for Patrick probably out there, don't we?
yeah.
All right, let me look at Patrick's and see if I can find something. You don't remember? Have I done it? Didn't I do?
Pull up the picture though. I could probably cover the most of it visually enough, I imagine.
Well, I was sharing it. Let me know if you guys can see. Let's see. Hang on. Let me find it. Word. There's Word. Can you see it, Thomas?
I just,
Yep, a little bit. That's not.
I just see you.
All right. So what he's more or less saying is, with that being a flyer, it's a flyer. If you've looked at Facebook, an ad
Can you
is.
hear me, Cheryl?
What's that? Cheryl.
It's focused on when the event is, not on the selling the product.
It's focused on literally the date, time of the event. It's not pushing so much the benefits of the service you're getting. Also, physically, just the structure wise of it, like Anthony was saying, is not in an ad shape, I guess you'd say. You could set up a carousel ad with those 5 images and that same text. But again, all you're saying is here's an event. You're not saying why they would go. With a Facebook ad, you're reaching out to people who have no idea who you are or what you're doing, and they're not there to pay attention to you. They're on Facebook because they want to entertain themselves. So if you're just putting out a product or an ad like this, one, it may not even get the people to stop scrolling because there's not enough of it. I'd say that's enough to get me to stop. There's no big, do you need help with such and such? Are you looking for the fountain of youth? Something of that nature. I see the fountain of youth, but you'd want to start typically with kind of like a question to bring them in or something really explosive to try and actually first grab their attention. I'll typically use contrasting ads, like pictures. I'd say the pictures overall aren't too bad. There's a couple of them I could see usable, a couple of them not too usable. I'm just reading through this really quick. With this too, you're also pushing for them to call, so you'd have to, man, that'd be tricky. You'd have to do like a call now ad, or just put the phone number in there and hope that they're actually calling it. But the ad format is normally to do one of a few things. You'd want to set it up like Anthony said, either an event, or if you just ran an ad, you need some type of page for it to go to, for them to click on a button, or some type of call to action. If your call to action is call now, you could do those, but again, you're reaching out to someone at an inconvenient point in time. That Facebook ad, unlike a flyer, isn't permanent. It's not a physical copy that they have to hold on to and have that number around. So if they see your ad at an inconvenient time, there's no way that they're going to call you. So having no other call to action, they're going to just keep scrolling if they're at all busy. Again, I didn't quite know what it was for till I'm reading it now. So some of that varies a little bit based on it being the product and service you're offering, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it's not really, and how can we get help on that sort of thing?
The real answer is speak to John, and John's going to send you to us. So we can eliminate the middleman on this.
Okay, so Anthony, how do we get help on this?
Yeah.
This is
so
important. We get it off the ground right away.
I know I have Paul's contact information, Cheryl. I don't have yours, I don't think, but let's schedule a call that we can, you and Paul and me and Thomas can get on the line and kind of find out where you're at, where you're going, what your you know, where you're trying to go, what pieces we need, what do you have, what you don't have, all that kind of stuff. Now, again, if we're pushing for an event, I didn't look at the date real quick, but if we're pushing for a short event here,
well, we can. I think it's an event we already had that didn't go well, and now we want to create a new event, but we don't want to waste our time on doing this wrong. So we want to get it done right the first time and get butts in the seat. So we need help.
What's a good day for you? What's a good day for you guys to get on Zoom again with us and chat for about an hour or so?
Today works for me.
Thomas, what do you got in the schedule later today? Because this is just, you know what, guys, I actually should stop the recording. Let me do this. Oh man, this is John's and I should stop the recording.
Just let